Hello Year 1 and Year 2. I hope you're all keeping safe and well at home. We're missing you having you at school and we can't wait to see you soon. Now today I'm sending you a video so that I can read you a story. And I know that in Year 1 you've been learning about space, and in Year 2 you've been learning about the earth and beyond. So I thought today I'd read you a story that links to those topics. And the story I'm going to read is one of my favourites. It's called Man on the Moon, A Day in the Life of Bob. And it's all about this man Bob, who is an astronaut. An astronaut is someone who explores space. And Bob is in charge of looking after the moon. So he lives on planet Earth, but he goes to the moon every day. And he's in charge of cleaning the moon. He's in charge of looking after tourists. A tourist is someone who goes and visits a new place. So when you go on holiday and you go to a new place, you are a tourist in that place. Okay, so shall we start this book and see what happens? So the author of the book is called Simon Bartram, and he has written quite a few books about this man Bob. Okay, and if you have a look at this page, you can see Bob putting on his spacesuit, ready to go up onto the moon. And here he is in his house on planet Earth having a cup of tea. But you can see on over here he's got a space rocket and a model of an astronaut, and he's got some pictures of the moon over here. Okay, here we go. This is Bob. Perhaps you've heard people talk of him. You may know him better as the man on the moon. Oh, and there he is on the moon, and you can see there's lots of craters on the surface of the moon. And there's Bob's space rocket. Oh, and there's the planet Earth where he lives and where we live. And Bob, if you have a look, has got a key on his belt. I wonder what that's for. Maybe it's for his rocket. Not sure. Okay. This is where Bob lives. Every morning he rises at 6 o'clock. He has a cup of tea and 2 eggs for breakfast before leaving for the rocket launch pad. On the way, he stops to buy a newspaper and some chocolate toffees. He's on his way to work. On the moon. And this is the launch pad where the rocket launches into the air, and you can see the moon in the corner. And if you look very carefully, you can see Bob on his bicycle cycling up to the rocket. By 8 o'clock, Bob arrives at the launch pad, changes into his special man on the moon suit, and boards his fantastic rocket ship. He must make sure he leaves by 9:15, otherwise he wouldn't make it to the moon by 9. On the way, he reads the newspaper and does the crossword. And here we see his rocket launching into space from Earth, and in the window you can see Bob driving the rocket. Oh, and here he is on the moon, and he's actually hoovering the moon and picking up litter. You see all that litter. I wonder who's left all that litter behind. Bob starts work. His job as man on the moon is very important. He has to keep the moon clean and tidy. Quite often, astronauts drop sweet packets and cans. So remember, astronauts are the people that explore the moon. Some people say that aliens are responsible for much of the rubbish, but Bob knows that's not true. there's no such thing as aliens. Oh my goodness, no aliens on the moon? Well, that's what Bob thinks, but oh, have a look over here. What can I see? I see 3 aliens. Bob thinks there aren't any. Oh my goodness. And look, there's even more aliens here. Still Bob thinks there aren't aliens. So we've got 3 astronauts on this page. Let's have a read. By 12:30, it's time to eat. Bob goes to his rocket ship to fetch his lunchbox. This usually contains 2 sandwiches, either cheese or peanut butter, an apple and some chocolate-covered nuts. Sometimes he meets his friends for a picnic. His 2 best friends are Billy, the man on Mars, and Sam, the man on Saturn. They talk about the stars and tell jokes. Wow, look at all those rocket ships. And then if you have a look down here, Bob is doing some exercises. He's doing some acrobatics. So he's standing here doing a headstand. He's doing a somersault over here. My goodness. Let's have a read. After lunch, tourist spaceships start arriving from Earth. It is part of Bob's job to entertain them and give them something to photograph. So he does somersaults, handstands, and especially high moon jumps. Sometimes he performs for as long as 2 hours and is left quite out of puff. So all these people are coming to see the moon and to see Bob. They're coming from Earth. Oh, and look, these are the tourists stopping for a visit on the moon. Occasionally, the tourist spaceships will land on the moon. When they do, Bob gives them a guided tour and a speech. He tells them lots of facts, such as how many craters the moon has, or how long it takes to walk around it on stilts. Sometimes people ask him about aliens, and Bob explains patiently that there aren't any. That's what he thinks. Afterwards, Bob opens a small souvenir stand selling postcards, pencils, mugs, and small plastic moon models. Oh, he's looking inside a crater. Has he seen the aliens? Let's see. By 4:30, all visitors must leave the moon. Bob looks around to see that everyone has left. He checks inside any big craters in case anyone has fallen in, but there's never anyone there. He still doesn't realise that there are aliens on the moon. Okay, and here he is on his spaceship driving it back home. The working day is nearly over. It is time to check everything is in order before leaving for the night. Bob packs away his equipment and any unsold souvenirs into his rocket. He switches on the moon's nightlight before jetting off towards Earth. By this time, he is very tired, but he still has to keep his wits about him while flying the rocket. It's a hard job flying a rocket. He has to be very careful. And look, this must be the Earth. We can see the moon up here and the spaceship coming back, the rocket coming back to Earth. And if you look carefully, I think he must live in London, because these are the type of buses that you see in London, because that's where I live. And also there's a famous church that's in London called St Paul's Cathedral. So he definitely lives in London. Okay, let's read the next bit. As he reaches Earth, it's about 5 o'clock. The rush hour is in full swing, with everyone leaving work and going home, just like Bob. At home, Bob is just like anyone else. First, he has a long bath, Moon work can make you very grubby, as sometimes the dust can get inside your suit. Then he goes to bed with a mug of cocoa. He sleeps soundly, bathed in moonbeams, very happy to be the man on the moon. And if you have a look over here, he's fast asleep in bed, and you can see the moon in the sky and the rocket, his rocket, on the launch pad. And it says at the bottom of the page, and aliens, now Bob thinks there aren't any. If you have a look in his bath, I can spot one. And aliens, has he noticed yet? Let's see. Well, oh my goodness, look at all of those aliens. Well, Bob would know if there were any. Does he? Wouldn't he? No, he still doesn't think there are any, even though he works on the moon every day. And there are aliens all over the place hiding in the craters. Okay, year 1 and year 2, I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope to read you another story soon. So keep working hard, keep exercising hard, and keep having fun at home, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.